Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another special episode of Herschel Talkers. Got a great return guest, Tennessee Tony, great friend from the show. How you doing today?
Good, man.
Good. Huge matchup in Sanford Stadium. Got number one Tennessee against number three Georgia. So I wanted to say, how does that feel to be being king of the mountain on top? How's that feel?
Kind of shocked, to be honest. It's good to see the one beside us again. I hadn't seen that since '98, so that's exciting. But I really wanted to be two and you guys be number one because I didn't want the extra motivation. I think when I saw you come out at three, it shocked me putting OSU at number two. So I think that's a little bit of motivation for Kirby there. So champs coming in at number three. So
Right. I agree. Jumping into it, Georgia played Florida, our bitter rival, last week, and always good to get a win against them. 42-20. Stetson Bennett looked a little Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, looked good in the first half. Second half, he threw a pick, turned the ball over, but we did get the running game going. We were up 28-3. As Falcons fans, I had that on my mind for a little bit when they started coming back. I was like, don't choke it, don't choke again. But positive was got the running game going. Dejon Edwards, 12 carries, 106, 2 touchdowns. Kenny McIntosh kind of leaned on him a little bit with 239 yards. Brock Bowers, another great game. One of the best tip passes, just to keep his eyes focused and make that catch was great. 5 receptions, 154 and a touchdown. Did stop him pretty good on our run defense, 34 carries for 100 yards. I think they only had 2 first downs in the first half. So first half wise, 2 quarters at least, that was one of the best I've seen our defense look. But it took a little nap in the third. Kind of contained Anthony Richardson. He had 271 and touchdown, but overall good win, 42-20. Anytime you beat Gators 5 out of 6 is great. Did lose Nolan Smith, one of our top pass rushers, to a torn pec. Real sorry to hear. Sorry to hear that. Great guy, great voice in the locker room. Probably the leader on the team, just getting guys up. And I think he did have a sack last week, so that'll be a blow. But we do have some guys on the bench that can step up. But all in all, 42-20. Good win. Getting ready for the big matchup this weekend. What was your thoughts on the game?
Well, I watched the Elmsville game, not the Tennessee Kentucky game, but watching it, I thought the first half you guys played like Georgia. Seeing some a little bit in the third quarter, it does seem like it came out a little flat. I was shocked Anthony Richardson passed for what he did. I really didn't realize if I saw this stat. I hadn't looked at the final stats on that, but passed it for 271 against y'all's defense. That's pass defense. But I think overall, 42-20. Like you say, anytime you can beat the Gators 5 out of 6 or whatever, that's good because they still got talent on the team. They're still talented. But again, I think they have not Kirby. They have Jeremy Pruitt, version 2 down there in Florida. So I think that'll end up being
Sunbelt Billy. We call him Sunbelt Billy, Uncle Lou.
Yeah. That's it.
I give him 3 years.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I don't even know if I give him 3 years. I think, because they have a good chance to finish 6-6. I don't see anywhere where they're going to make a lot of improvement jumping next year. Tennessee's where they are. Georgia's where they are. It's already puts them third. Kentucky plays them close every year. So I think, man, maybe they do give him 3, but I don't know. We just see because I have like I always talk about my good friend. He's a Florida guy, and he has season tickets, and he said, and I live down there, but they down in Jacksonville, but they don't like to see that ball control slow. Like they want to see some air raid. Like I think Heupel would have fit perfect down there if they had got him. Okay. So
for sure. Definitely. And moving on to you guys had a really great win. I was really surprised when I saw this. I caught some of the game. I was actually out for a Halloween party, but man, you guys rolled, dominated, blew out Kentucky 44-6. The defense and holding them to 6, and Will Levis, who had 3 picks, who supposedly is a day one quarterback, which I think there's a lot more quarterbacks out there. It looks like he's got the arm, he's got the prototypical quarterback, but defense looked really good. Of course, Hendon Hooker 245 as usual. Hyatt kid's just amazing, out of this world. Can't stop that guy. And guys got the running game going. But yeah, man, you guys rolling. What's your thoughts on that, Tony?
I like to predict every week. I predicted, I think 41-24 or 44-24, something like that. But I thought it would be kind of close in the first half, or maybe the first quarter. Because what I figured is kind of what happened in the first quarter. Really, is we got the ball first. We scored like I think a minute and 30 seconds. We hit a running the fast tempo. We got them to about the 45-yard line or a 50-yard line, somewhere around there, and we ran that stack formation. Just we'd run the play before, and the safety bit in, and when he did, Hyatt was wide open. And then we stopped them 3 and out, which didn't surprise me. But the next time that we got the ball, I think it was 3rd and 38. We kept shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties and so forth on that drive, false start, so forth. Then Kentucky got it, drove it back down the field, and I said, okay, and it took a while. But I said, this is how the first half's going to be probably. It's going to be, kind of neck and neck. And then that was it, man. After that, our defense, I was really impressed. We got a lot of pressure. I know Kentucky's line is not the best. I think they're 12th in the SEC in total sacks given up or something like that, or pass protection. But we got pressure on them with our front four a lot. And we were able to, we were still out 2 secondary players. They're going to be back this week. So we had to move to Nico Slaughter, who got his first interception from star to cornerback. So he played at cornerback, and he had a nice pick in that game. But man, I just thought we for the first time we ran some different defenses, and we kind of disguised a little bit. And I guess because Will Levis is a good quarterback, in my opinion. I think he's overrated from what people say. But you could tell a lot of times, man, he was very confused at what we were trying to do and so forth. So our defense is exciting now. It's fun to watch our defense play. It'll be interesting to go up against you guys this week. But our run defense is pretty nasty. So it really does get down to how a quarterback can pass against us. So that I think that's going to be a lot of the game this weekend. But it was nice to see Tillman back. He's 100%. He's ready to go this weekend. We really kept on a snap count. Saturday we didn't really do too much with him. Just let him get out there and get some easy catches and go. But this week he'll be full speed. So we'll see how Hyatt and Tillman and Brew McCoy all on the outside. That'll be pretty fun to watch. So we're starting to get our tight ends involved a lot more too, which is good.
Yeah, man, great win. I'll admit, a little. I had my eye on that one. I was like, damn, they smoked them boys. But
yeah,
getting ready for it. Did want to share this right before. More motivation, as you said, because Georgia.
I know what you're about to show, Eric Haynes, aren't you?
There it is. Had to. Playing between the hedges is overrated. Not that loud. And definitely not intimidating. It's nothing like playing in Neyland. Balls will just be fine in Athens. So I know you're partial, Tony, but I mean they can get a little loud in Athens. I know in Sanford Stadium we hadn't had the best home slate because kind of just been beating people. We are 28-1. I think since 2016, 2017, whatever that is. But I just feel like you guys are maybe not meaning to, but just throwing more motivation for Kirby putting it up. Not anything you guys said, but Eric Ainge. But anyway, what's your thoughts on it? I know you guys you're partial there, but I know it gets crazy there in Neyland. There it is.
I'll be honest with you. Neyland Stadium has always been a great environment. It's always been really loud, I think, because of the bowl shape of it. But what Danny White, our athletic director, has done, I've been to 2 games this year, and we're supposed to go to Alabama game. My mom got sick and stuff, but that is one of the best environments in college football I've ever seen. Like from the fireworks to the crowd, the things they do with the lights now. And I've been to Athens 6 times in my lifetime, 5 times in my lifetime. And man, there's louder environments, man. And I think maybe it's the way the stadium shaped or something, or I don't know, but it's not like when I think of intimidating places go, I think of Florida, LSU, even South Carolina, even though, how we feel about them, but that place gets a little crazy. I haven't been to Athens where I'm like, oh man, this place is like, crazy intimidating. So I do understand what they mean by that. But those players also didn't lose in Georgia. Ramon Foster, I believe, and Eric Haynes, they never lost in Athens when they were there. But so that may be a little bit. Definitely motivation for the fans to get there and show up. I think stuff like that will get them fired up. I think that the good thing about it is our kids and the way Heupel is, it's like a business-like approach, and their attitude is something different than even when Fulmer was there. Fulmer was very tight. You could see it in press conferences. Heupel's just loose, man. Interesting comment. They asked him, did he tell the team about the rankings? He says, we've been talking, they were coming out. So we were all talking about where we thought we'd be. He said, I want the kids to enjoy it. I want them to understand, college football rankings and understand, where they're ranked and be able to enjoy that and not, some coaches would say, don't pay attention to that stuff, but he wants them to enjoy it. So I think they play loose. And I was thinking about this the other day. Neyland Stadium is so loud, and a lot of times they were doing this on offense to get them to hush because they were loud. But I think the decibel ended up getting to like 119 at that game because they'll show it on the board. So it does get pretty loud. Now it's different when everybody's cheering against you though. So we'll see how that happens on Saturday. But definitely motivation there.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there, but yeah.
I figured you would. I was thinking about that this morning.
All right, looking at it, number 1, Tennessee, number 3. Sorry, what that? Let's see what that is. Anyway, number 1 against number 3. Sorry about that. And looks like 8-point spread, which I think it started off at 9. I think it started out even more, so that's always interesting for the betting public. But what's the matchups that you're looking at, Tony? And I'll kind of share my thoughts and what's going to be really interesting. Very similar. You guys 49-41. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No. So I'm interested in seeing our defensive line against y'all's offensive line, because y'all had a couple of injuries on the offensive line, but I think I read they'll be back. Sims will be back. He's been practicing, right?
Mims, yeah, they said light
Mims
sprain, but yeah, he's more of a backup. But yeah, I think he should be good to go. There's another guy with some turf toe, but as you know, the lineman pushing off. But
yeah,
all in all, pretty healthy.
I'm interested in seeing that our defensive line against y'all's offensive line, see if we need to bring pressure. Y'all's receivers, I know you got what's his face, that y'all's best receiver. He's practicing this week, or you doing some sideline work. I know I read that.
I don't think he's gonna play, man. I keep joking.
Really?
I'm like, are we gonna see that kid at all this year? Because it's been 6-8 weeks. So I doubt he plays, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's still, our weak link is our secondary. So, if you give any quarterback, as y'all saw against Florida, any time, they'll be able to hit an open receiver. So interested in that. And then I'm interested in on defense for us still, how are we going to cover your linebackers? Are we going to, if we put some of our line, how are we going to cover y'all's tight ends? If we take a linebacker and put on there, our linebackers are fast, but they're not be able to keep up with either one of the tight ends, I don't think, and not big enough. Then you put a safety on there. That's going to, put a lot of man coverage, but it's also they're undersized for both of them. So that concerns me. I don't think we'll stop Bowers from getting his catches and getting his points. Darnell Washington, I don't look at us going in there and stopping you guys, put it that way. So on offense, good luck matching up with us. That's all I got to say. And I really do. It's funny. I don't mean to sound cocky and arrogant about it, but I watched that Kentucky replay the other night, and it took me quite a few hours, but I watched it, slow-moed it, and the way that he does movement and stacks those receivers, and the only way to stop Tennessee is to get pressure on the quarterback, which no one's been able to do. If you do have to bring a blitz, they're going to eat you alive in one-on-one matchups, or you dink and dunk us, or make us dink and dunk the ball and keep us behind the chains. Once we get first downs, it starts to really put pressure on the defense, because then you're kind of calling plays in reaction, it seems like, from a defensive standpoint, and not being aggressive. So you look at a lot of it, even the Alabama game I watched the replay, a lot of the safeties, we'll throw the screen and they keep coming up. And then all of a sudden it looks like the same play, but then all of a sudden the wide receiver takes off and he's gone, and he's always on a linebacker. So when you see Hyatt streaking, there was always a linebacker covering. So I think they wait for that. But the way we spread it out and pick the box and see how many people are in the box and run. And it's funny, I watched our podcast the other night again from when I was on there earlier this season, and I was talking about Tennessee. It was after the Florida game. And I said, Tennessee's not going to be a team that can line up and run the ball on you, but we are now. So we're fine running the ball 5, 6, 7 plays in a drive now. The way we do it. So that's what's fun. We actually, like I said, and I said this last time, we rush the ball about 53% of the time.
Mhm.
So it's interesting to see how y'all are going to defend that. I mean, if anybody is a mastermind of defense, it's Nick Saban and Kirby Smart that popped in my mind. I mean, Nick Saban couldn't figure it out for anything. So I expect y'all to play a lot of zone coverage, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up, that you guys, I think, underrated rush defense, and I think that's why like Hyatt and these other guys are getting way behind people, because everybody is coming up. So looking at the stats here, I always like look at college football stats. You guys, of course, #1, but I think quietly Georgia is #6, putting up 42. Another interesting stat is, so per offensive yards per game, Tennessee's 1, Georgia's actually #2 in the nation. So I feel like I want to call them junk yards, but we do get a lot of yards. Also, I want to say on our run defense is 4, so it'll be a stout. So if we can contain you guys on that, and I think this will be one of the faster defenses. Our guys kind of fly around, which is going to be important. If we can maybe hold you guys under 150, 125 against the rush, and then we are going to have to get to the passer, which we've been that's been one of our kind of struggles, is we don't have a lot of sacks. But I think having Jalen Carter's going to play more. He's going to clog that middle up. He's a nightmare in matchup. 88. You're going to have John Dumas Johnson, and our secondary. They're going to get pushed. I think you guys are definitely going to get some explosive plays. Might pick on Camardi Lassiter. Ringo's going to have like the game of his life. He's going to get pushed back there. But if we can, keys to victory, of course, keep you guys, I think, under 125. Turnovers, of course, huge. If Bennett cannot throw any picks, clean game, and we can keep our penalties up under 5, I don't think we're going to have 17 penalties, because, as you know, and then the crowd, I think some of those will be okay. Kind of like padlock stack. If we can keep you guys under 125, and no turnovers, and it's all going to be on Bennett. Of course, Hendon Hooker's the better quarterback. Also, I know you guys got a top 10 defense, top 5. It's going to be interesting on the O-line and the D-line if we guys can get a push, because I believe our running game has got quietly better. They struggled at the first of the year, but Dejon Edwards, Kenny McIntosh, and we might see Kendall Milton, who's been banged up. He's a bigger back, but he had played in a couple of weeks. Also, Branson Robinson might get a little bit. He's getting better. He's kind of like a mini Chubb. I mean, we got some dudes. So
yeah, you always got running backs. I think too. If y'all can keep us under 125, I mean, I don't expect to come in to Athens and rush for 175 yards. I mean, if we do, what you got to account for in that is, you may not see a running back break, but Hooker's going to take off at some point, and when he goes, he goes. Right. I like y'all's defense is fast. I think that's definitely interesting, but it's really not about our offense. It's not about being fast. It's being in the right position at the right time. Because that's a lot of times y'all can be overly aggressive on defense. Right. Watching you guys play, and that can play right into Tennessee's strengths. Again, I don't expect to come in there and rush for that much. But another key stat I was thinking also is turnovers. We're +5. I mean, we take care of the ball. I mean, Hooker he's only thrown 3 picks in 2 years, so it's I mean, do we play Georgia defenses every week? No, but he makes really good decisions. And also we just have players that are so wide open a lot, where it's not really putting it in harm's way. Now we will stress you and take some one-on-one, downfield shots and things like that. But I think if Bennett turned the ball over twice, that's giving us 2 extra possessions, man. That's not, I mean, that's a huge stat. You give us 2 more possessions and give us, if we can get one touchdown off those, that's big for us. Because, we've only punted the ball going into Kentucky. We've only punted the ball 3 times in SEC play. And that's against Florida. That's against LSU. That was against Alabama. I think the other night we punted 2 times, maybe 3 the other night, but some of them got late in the game where we weren't going to try to go for it. And things like that. But that's going to be the turnovers are a key stat for me.
For sure. And then, all right, well, we can go ahead and make our make our picks. You can make your prediction there. I'll let you go first. Hey, number 1.
Yeah. So, I think I think to win, to be honest, we've got to get in the 40s. So, and I definitely feel good about it. And again, I don't want to come on. I've never come on here and said this at these shows, however long we've been doing them. But I mean, I say 41-34. I've thought about it all week. I've kind of got my method behind it of how to work, but I say 41-34. I think it's going to come to a fourth quarter game where we have to score one late in the fourth quarter. I mean, the pressure's on Georgia, man. Yeah, I think Tennessee just playing having fun. So it's I think that's going to and it's first time y'all really this year will be challenged like this. So but anyway, 41-34 is what I go with.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought about it all week with the Nolan Smith. I was pretty down on Tuesday. I was like, I didn't have the best feeling. But I guess a little bit of disrespect to dropping down to 3 added motivation. I mean, I don't know how much the Eric Ainge thing. I just think the crowd is going to be there. Kirby's going to use that number 3 that you disrespected. Originally, I was going to say 41-38, but I'm going to go 41-31, and I think the crowd is going to be big with game day. This is like the biggest game in Sanford Stadium ever, ranked number 1 against number 3, which is really good. If we just don't turn the ball over and what we talked about earlier. And I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to come down to, of course, turnovers and might come down to special teams. I hope Ladd McConkey doesn't have a muff punt, something really bad about that. It's going to be one of these you got to hold your breath on, like every play will be decided. I hope the referees maybe let the guys play. There's not a lot of PI because I think there's going to be a lot of guys all over each other just because it's going to be a physical game. And I hope it doesn't come down to a Hail Mary, kind of like 2016. I think I remember Tony calling me back. I was walking back to whatever apartment. He's like, man, that's a Bulldog that called that. Was it Marquez? Was it Callaway, I think?
No, it was 15. Jesus.
Anyway.
I can see it right now.
Dodge threw it to him. Is he in the pros now?
Juwan Jennings.
Okay, yeah. He caught that. But I think that's the last time you guys beat us in Athens. But yeah. I'm gonna go out on it. I'm gonna go 41-31 and we cover just because of the crowd, the environment. But it's gonna be.
Oh, I thought y'all were picking us 41-31. Okay, all right. So y'all gonna hold us at 31. All right, okay.
I think we cover and make a statement, shut everybody up. That's another thing. We got a chip.
Yeah.
But if we lose, I think it knocks us out, and we'll look at that real quick. Is looking at the playoff things here. Which also let me get that for get our sponsor of the show here. Forgot to jump down here. Viva Tequila. If you ever want a 0 carb, 0 sugar, gluten-free Viva Tequila seltzer. Got a Huckleberry if you want to watch it for your tailgate before and after the gym. I like this elderberry right here. I've tried it. We got grapefruit. You can order everything on vivatequilaseltzer.com. 20% off. Hustle will get you a discount code there. So check out Viva Tequila. It's a great partnership, sponsor of the show. Sorry, I got that in there. And then go to the rankings real quick. See what your thoughts on that will be. Here we go. Tennessee getting bumped up to 1. I do agree with you guys going. You guys got the best resume, knocking off number 10 LSU, of course, Bama. So I definitely agree with that. Ohio State, I didn't agree with it. Number 2, I thought we should have been there 1 versus 2. I agree with what you said earlier in the show. But like Ohio State barely played. They barely finally beat somebody with a pulse last week in Penn State. Struggled until the fourth quarter. Another head scratcher to me is I think Michigan should be 4 and not Clemson. Clemson struggled with Wake Forest and Syracuse. And I still think there's some Bama love being at 6. So what's your thoughts on those?
No, I definitely two things. I think TCU should have been in front of Bama because they've had some impressive wins. Yeah. I think Michigan should be ahead of Clemson. Clemson being at number 4 kind of was a head scratcher for me too because I mean they're scathing every week just getting by in the ACC. Yeah. I mean you put them in the SEC, man. Clemson would not be the Clemson that people are used to now. That playing teams every week. I'd love to play Clemson. I think we'd blow the doors off of them. And even my buddy who's a Clemson fan said the same thing. We couldn't keep up with them, but I do agree at Tennessee being number 1. I was hoping we'd be 2, to be honest, and have a chance to take over and be number one after a win. But it's nice to see, man. It's nice to see Tennessee back up there. I do think Georgia should have been 2 over Ohio State. Ohio State really hasn't played anybody till this weekend. I think that this weekend is what got them there. That win against Pitt. Not Pitt, but the win against Penn State this weekend and how they kind of dominated towards the end of the game. I think that's what kind of put them at number 2, in my opinion.
So, as non-biased Georgia fan, do you think let's say if we lose a close one to you guys, does that completely knock us out? Are we going to have to hope for some hope and prayer?
I think the LSU game you guys need to watch, because I think if Alabama beats LSU and Alabama goes to SEC championship and we beat y'all, we're not going to beat Nick Saban twice. I'm telling you. It's just, and those dudes, they remember that loss. That's going to be a different game. I just don't see it happening. Maybe it does when we get closer. We see injuries and stuff. But I think if y'all lose and Alabama wins, the only way maybe y'all could get in is for, Alabama to lose in the SEC championship. We win and go. Y'all are 11-1. Alabama's got 2 losses. You put, just one team from the SEC in. Who else would you have in then? Clemson. Over you guys, I don't know. They're undefeated, but I think Clemson may get to a point where they're undefeated and may not make it in. Ohio State, maybe have TCU at that point. So it'll be interesting, but I do think y'all are risking, if y'all lose Saturday, that does knock you out the playoffs though. You'll have to have some things working your way to get in my opinion. I think if we lose Saturday, we still get in.
Where do you see you guys maybe dropping? We drop to 4, maybe. Just saying if it's a close one, or
if it's a close one, I think they would flip flop you guys and us at 1 and 3. I don't think they would move Clemson above us. Now, if it's a blowout, maybe they put us at 4. Then I don't think it'll be a blowout, but you never know. But I think we would just flip flop 1 to 3, and I think we're protected as long as we don't slip up against South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt the last 3 games, and I think we'll put a lot of points up on those teams. So I think if we lose, it could be a benefit for us because we would get in. But I think honestly, man, at this point, if we win, I think we'll get in. If we lose, I still think we'll get in the playoffs.
So you guys playing house money, huh?
That's the way I've looked at it a lot this week, man. I just don't see. Who else would you put above Tennessee if we only have 1 loss, whether it's the SEC championship or, maybe you guys say if you play Georgia and then Georgia beats you guys in the SEC championship, maybe then you take Georgia and Alabama, and I don't see you putting 3 SEC teams in there. But you also have to think college football committee too knows what brings viewers and knows what brings crowds. And if you look at Tennessee, I don't know if you've seen some of the rankings about how many people watched their games this year. It's crazy, man. It's how much publicity we've gotten this year. We're a fun team to watch. Tennessee fans are so starving. I'd try to figure out how to be in Atlanta if we play there. My buddy and I, we're actually looking at going this weekend to Athens until we saw tickets were like $700 a clip. But if we make it to the playoffs, I'm gonna figure out how to at least, if the game's in Atlanta, how to get there. But you got to kind of think about that with the ratings also. Rankings.
I think that Tennessee Alabama game is probably the highest ratings for the year, I believe. So yeah.
And then Florida was second.
Yeah. And I know you guys
this weekend will be the highest. Everybody in the country will be watching it this weekend.
Exactly. Be interesting to see who the guest picker is too.
Oh yeah, it's true. You want to bring Herschel Walker on?
That'd be political. Hey, the joke was that Stacey Abrams was going to be the guest picker. It was. No, it is. I thought somebody sent me that, and I was like, oh hell no. They can't give it to her. They can quote. She said she didn't even like living in the state.
Oh man, dude, that would be horrible.
Bring on like
go ahead,
John Mayer or somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so somebody, the guest pickers are weird, man. I think they need to have somebody with some football knowledge. I think they bring the ones on here just for just for fun. I think we should have brought Peyton on one of them. We had it, back in Knoxville and stuff. Well, hold on, was he on? That's right. He was a guest picker.
He was there.
Yeah, that's right.
He was there for Alabama, Tennessee, I believe.
That's right. And the first time ever. First time ever. So I like it. We have some people on there who actually have some football knowledge. I can't believe I forgot he was a guest picker, but it'd be interesting to see who y'all get. Who's done good against Tennessee in the past? from you guys. That's something that David Green, you can bring David Green on.
Yeah. Hognell boot.
Ogden Boot, yeah.
Yes, real quick. Speaking of that, so I know Corso is probably on his way out. 87. What do you like, Pat McAfee, and the way it's been? Do you like him, or is he a little too
I didn't at
wrestling?
first.
Or
Yeah, I didn't at first, but then I've kind of grown on me. And I think because when he was in Knoxville, I watched it, and he really talks good about the Vols and stuff. So I think that's why. I think if he would have been, I didn't like him at first. I thought it was too much. But I think, it's kind of grown on me a little bit. So, but I watch SEC Nation a lot more. I do game day. And unless it's like this weekend, I'll watch game day more. But I'll flip back and forth between the two shows. But it's but I think he's good. I think they got a good crew on there. It's sad to see Corso leave, but
it is, yeah. I don't know if they'll ever do the headgear, which is always tradition, but yeah, should be really good.
Yeah.
All right, man. You got anything else on the way out, or?
Go Vols!
Yeah.
Buckle your seatbelts. It's gonna be a race Saturday. I'm looking forward to it, but I swear it's 4 hours, and I'm watching at home with a buddy of mine and two buddies of mine, and it's 4 hours of every play that's just intense. It really does. It ages you, man. It gives you when the game's over, you feel like you played.
Exactly, it is. But everybody's that way. Get out your food and your alcohol, and if you ever do any kind of Xanax or whatever, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's I don't like to drink too much during watching the games or pregame, because I like to be coherent, watch what's going on with it. But we'll definitely, I think we'll have some mules Saturday. My buddy likes to make them. We'll definitely have some wings or something like that, and enjoy it, man. It's fun. It's good after we've struggled for so long, and it's good to see Tennessee back where we are. I think it makes college football more fun, and it makes SEC better, in my opinion. So it's I know you guys may think different, but it's good to have us back. It's good to think about this game being a top matchup.
Oh yeah, for sure. It should be really exciting. So Tony's got him 41-34, and I'm gonna give 41-31. So we'll see. All right, man. Yeah, man. Good luck to you.
Yeah, safe travels too.
You too. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Hey, bye.